Hello everyone, it's Peter Bom again, Australia Motorcycle News. Sunday update, Valencia MotoGP, last round of the season, and everybody's very happy that this is the last round. Me too, but for sure in 3-4 weeks I will be watching the video pass of MotoGP to look some old races again because I need my shot. But what a race, confusing day. I hope you found it as confusing as I found, otherwise I'm the only stupid guy here. But it was not a lot of logic in the result from the MotoGP race today. Turned out that it was quite a little bit colder than the other days, and we needed to race with the medium rear tyre, which everybody had spent only little time on. And the good thing is that makes a surprising result. Not for the win, Pecco Bagnaia, who was on pole, didn't win the sprint yesterday because his right high device was a bit Marco Bezzecchi, I mean, of course. But anyway, today we decided whole shot and never look back. But a lot of action at the start. Speaking of whole shots, we had quite some action in the first couple of corners. That was almost the most action of the whole race. First of all, before the race started, we had Frankie Morbidelli being in trouble, running into the back of Aleix Espargaro. Looked quite silly. How can you, when you're going to the grid and you look for your grid position, how can you run into the back of another bike? That looks stupid. But it wasn't that stupid, because first of all, Frankie already had the front of his bike really low, which makes it not so easy to maneuver. Aleix Espargaro, arriving to his grid spot, still did not have the front right height, the front device locked. You need to brake very aggressively shortly to make it lock. And he didn't do it so far. Frankie, you want to join us? So anyway, Frankie is there thinking, okay, Aleix still has good speed, and then suddenly Aleix makes like a stoppie to make it, and he ran in the back of him and then even crashed over with the bike. So that, I mean, it's all down to the shitty right high devices. Silly accident actually, what happened there. Shouldn't have happened. Marco Bezzecchi win it conveniently. The second bike on the podium is also an Aprilia with Raul Fernandez, who's actually still a little bit injured. And this is a clear example how far the Aprilias have gone on this racetrack, especially yesterday also, but especially today. The Aprilias were just on a complete other planet. They don't seem to have any of the problem that anybody else had. They just had the world for their own, which is something we know from Formula 1. You know, if Ferrari is good, then the first two cars are Ferrari. So I hope it will change, but at the moment it's lovely to see the two Aprilias, which I like so much, see there. Who else was interesting to speak about? Pedro Acosta. I was expecting him to be more close to the win, more close to the podium. He could not. First of all, another right high device problem. He started okay, but out of turn number 2, his rear high device dropped it where it should not drop. Means turn 3 and turn 4, he was in all sorts of trouble and losing places. Now, if you're with the KTM and you're leading, you can make yourself pretty wide. There is only a narrow arrow line and you can defend yourself for a long time, but he was not. So P4, P3, actually he was very mature by not asking too much from his rear tire to try to get back quickly to the front, but he knew this is going to be a long race. Him and his team realized his medium rear tire with these conditions going to do a long drop. So he was clever, still finishing fourth. He made the best result that was possible actually at the moment. Another guy we need to speak about is Luca Marini, because he finished 7th with the Honda. Yesterday he was taken out by his teammate, but Honda is probably not often been so happy with P7, because now they have just enough points to change the ranking in the concessions order. Now they have less tires, less testing opportunities, less engines to use next year, which is like a big compliment of all the good work that they did so far. For them, they are very happy with the fact that they made this step up, Honda. And for sure the mechanics are even more happy because they did all the testing. They had to go everywhere to do the real testing. Then there was a little accident in turn 4 between Zarco and Pecco. Pecco is, you know, let's just say all his bad luck was in this year and then for his whole life. He did everything correctly, had a good chance because in the end there's a GP25 on the podium here, but he didn't get any further than turn 4. Because of all the chaos of people having the right high devices stuck, Johan Zarco was trying to overtake somewhere where there normally is no place, but because of all the chaos he tried, couldn't make it, went wide and pushed Bagnaia in the gravel trap. Zarco had to do a long lap for it, which he served, but that still ruins his race. Jack Miller did a very interesting race, Aussie rider. A lot better than yesterday, although he was fighting again, 2 times overtaken with the guy that yesterday created his problems and gave him the long lap penalty, Fermin Aldeguer. So in the end, Jack started quickly into 6th, but then in the end he finished in P9, which on the Yamaha is quite special because he's by far the first Yamaha. Fabio Quartararo was already behind him when he crashed, so there was nobody better on the Yamaha. And it it explains a little bit that this is a bit of a weird track. Like I said, it's short and it's narrow. If it doesn't shoot you, you're in all sorts of trouble. If it does shoot your bike and it shoots you, you're just checking out like Marco Bezzecchi. But it shoots Jack a lot. Although the Yamaha is not a great bike, he did a really, really good job with it. I could see the relief in his eyes, that he was so happy by having this position finally in the last race here. Then we had the Moto2, Moto3 riders. Moto3, we had, let me check my notes here, Joao Kelso crashing out, continued the race but too far back. In the end he's 6th overall, which is still a decent result, but think about Joao Kelso was a long time 3rd in the standing, so he will not be too happy, but 6 is still a decent result. And yesterday he's on, next year he's on a Honda, so interesting to look forward to. Really difficult situation. Jacob Roulstone finishing 16, but apparently he agreed to stop his career. Let's just hope, because he's only 20 years old. Let's hope that's like an emotional reaction to him having not found a team yet. Let's just hope somebody finds a guy from 20 from Australia that was so good in the Red Bull Rookies, did 2 years in the factory Moto3 team, didn't do so bad, but it's a cutthroat business. So let's hope Jacob finds a place. And I was expecting a podium from Senna ages. He was apparently, I think, expecting it himself as well. He finished 8th. But for most of the race he was in P3, like a solid P3. But just like with the Michelin tires, also the Moto2 Pirellis, they suffered from like an unexpected tire wear. And with just 4, 5, 6 laps to go, he dropped a lot. So it wasn't to be for Senna Air, but the good thing was he showed a very, very good pace on Friday and on Saturday in qualifying, and today it was just not him, because his teammate Gonzalez, still fighting a little bit for the championship, had the same problem but even worse and earlier in the race. So there is something in the team, in how they manage the tires, they just made a little mistake there. So, but anyway, can't wait to see Senna next year being one of the title contenders in the Moto2, because that's the result of the brilliant season that he did so far this year. That was all what I wanted to share with you. Thanks everybody for watching, and probably I'll come back Tuesday after the test with a little bit of a roundup about what everybody was doing here. Thanks for watching, bye.